Veteran guard Marcus Smart has signed with the Los Angeles Lakers. The team confirmed on Tuesday. The standout defender and two-way contributor will join the team on a 2-year, $11 million contract to bolster the supporting cast around Luka Doncic and LeBron James. Smart, who made his name during a 9-year tenure with the rival Boston Celtics, spent the last 2 years with Memphis and Washington. He was named the 2022 NBA Defensive Player of the Year with the Celtics, leading them to the NBA Finals that season. A 3-time All-Defensive First-Team member, he was a regular starter for Boston before being traded to the Grizzlies in 2023. Injuries have limited the 6'3" guard to just 54 games over the last 2 seasons. He played in only 15 games after joining the Wizards last February as part of a 3-team trade. While he has never averaged more than 13.1 points per game in a season, the Lakers undoubtedly covet his defensive contributions for a roster already loaded with potent scorers. Smart will have ample opportunity to play a significant role, filling the need for a strong point-of-attack defender after the team lost Dorian Finney-Smith to the Houston Rockets in free agency. Smart, DeAndre Ayton, and Jake LaRavia are the key offseason additions to the Lakers, who lost in the first round to the Minnesota Timberwolves last spring. The team has managed to keep its core intact, re-signing backup center Jackson Hayes. LeBron James picked up his $52.6 million player option to return for a record-breaking 23rd NBA season, and his agent Rich Paul has been vocal about the expectation for the Lakers to be a serious championship contender. NBA experts agree on LeBron James's trade destination from LA Lakers, where he could win the East. NBA experts agree on a trade destination for LeBron James as he grows frustrated with the LA Lakers. Trade talks have quieted down in the short term for James, who is expected to be a Laker when the season begins. But the trade deadline is in February, and if the Lakers are not clear contenders by then, James may become more persistent in his trade request. James, who prioritizes winning his 5th NBA title while growing increasingly frustrated with his team's lack of urgency, will want to compete wherever he goes. These experts believe he can compete on one of his former teams. Bill Simmons and Zach Lowe agree LeBron James could be traded from the LA Lakers to the Miami Heat. Bill Simmons, speaking with Zach Lowe on the Bill Simmons podcast, said he sees James's former team, the Miami Heat, as a possible trade destination for James by the deadline. Miami fell out of title contention when Jimmy Butler forced his way to the Golden State Warriors last season, but they have a number of trade assets in expiring deals, which would allow the Lakers to free up cap space for the next offseason. Simmons said, they have a flexible trade roster. Norman Powell is on an expiring deal. Simone Fontecchio is on an expiring deal. Haywood Highsmith is on an expiring deal. Andrew Wiggins has a player option next year for $30 million. It feels a little LeBron-y. If someone came from a time machine and said, in January or February, LeBron is getting traded, and you had to pick a team, I think Miami would be one of the teams I'd think about. The NBA's all-time leading scorer won 2 championships in Miami in the early 2010s, but his departure from South Beach was not peaceful. Heat executive Pat Riley publicly expressed his frustration with James for his abrupt exit. While James was unhappy with his lack of a voice in the decision-making process and the Heat's reluctance to overspend. However, James's split from the Cleveland Cavaliers was messy. He was accused of quitting on the team and was called a coward by Cavs owner Dan Gilbert in the famous Comic Sans letter. Therefore, Simmons believes any tension between James and the Heat is water under the bridge. He continued, it ended badly for him in Miami. I don't think it matters. He went back to Cleveland after the Comic Sans letter. If it's the right move for both sides, and if Miami can look at it and say, oh yes, we can win the East if we turn Wiggins and everything else into LeBron James. Potential LeBron James trade package to the Miami Heat. In response, Lowe said he agrees that James could be traded to the Heat. He said, there is actually a kind of Heat reunion trade that, on paper, wouldn't be insane for either team if it got to that point. I agree with you. That would not be a terrible team for the Eastern Conference. Lowe said the potential trade would have to include one key player, the 7-foot Kel'el Ware. He explained, I think for the Lakers, Ware would have to be in the play. I've gone out of my way to say I need a rim runner to pair with Luka. I'm trading, arguably, the greatest player of all time, and I need to nail the trade. So he's the piece I think they would try to get. The Heat have plenty of pieces they would be willing to part with in exchange for James. A combination of Wiggins, Ware, and Powell, including pick swaps, should be enough to encourage the Lakers to part with James. James, before retirement, could make one last title run with Tyler Herro and Bam Adebayo, and the Lakers could free up space to attack free agency in 2027.